Welcome back to this Mood of the Nation, the India Today poll brought to you by Karmi. All the details in the latest India Today magazine. We are looking at contentious laws brought in recent times by the Modi government and how people are looking at those laws. We looked at farm laws in our first segment. Now we are going to look at the contentious laws brought by a number of BJP-ruled governments that effectively put some kind of restriction on interfaith marriages that reportedly involve forcible conversions according to those governments.
So you've got one section of voters who believe that love jihad is a bogey, it's a conspiracy, it doesn't exist. But what do citizens in a nationally representative opinion poll think? Coming up on your screen right now, for the first time, the results of the Mood of the Nation opinion poll on the question of love jihad. Does the love jihad conspiracy actually exist? Now, whether it does or not is a different matter, but just on the question of people's belief around whether there is a conspiracy to convert Hindu girls, to get them to become Muslims by Muslim men, 54% say yes. More than half the respondents in this poll think that the conspiracy exists. 36% say it doesn't. But that, Rajdeep, suggests that the argument that states like Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh are making is an argument that is being bought by the vast majority of voters in our country.
And it could be possible that this majority reflects, dare I say, also a majoritarian mindset, because remember, a poll of this nature will have a disproportionate number of people from the majority community, i.e. Hindus. So it is possible that a number of Hindus in particular have bought into this belief that this involves unlawful conversion, because when you look at the next question, and in a sense these three questions are all linked. Do you support interfaith marriage? 54% say no, it is against our culture. And 41% say it is a personal choice. So again, you've got a larger number of people saying that they do not support an interfaith marriage in the first place. Forget even about
But that's a social mooring.
That's right. But I'm saying, you know, the laws which are the prohibition of unlawful conversion of religion or religious ordinance is being backed because I think a cultural milieu exists where interfaith marriages are looked at with an element of suspicion. Then, because when the third question is asked, Rahul, should laws be passed to which is effectively what many believe these laws are doing, 58% and even greater number are saying yes, and no is 35%. No, so a milieu seems to have been created where it seems to almost give a stamp of approval to laws that will control interfaith marriages.
No, but there the question, Rachingappa, is would a larger constitutional idea of what our body politic should be about take precedence over the mood in the streets? The mood in the street is don't allow interfaith marriage, but that can't take away from the 41% who may be interested in having an interfaith marriage their right to do so.
Absolutely, Rahul. And I think in this, it's always a little tenuous. There is a conservative streak that we have in the Indian populace. If you ask them about love marriage versus, I mean, not leave alone interfaith marriages. If you ask them, would they prefer love marriage to an arranged marriage, you'd be surprised to find that almost 60 to 70% will say arranged marriage, even to this day. So when you're talking of interfaith, you're looking at a very conservative Indian population. So I'm not surprised by the answers. There is a danger of those for use of political purposes, as we found when we did an India Today article. The substantiation of this love jihad phenomenon was not much. How many such cases were really happening across the states that implemented these ordinances or these legislation?
No, so are we saying that people are a step behind our constitution because we are in Republic Day week, which focuses on individual freedoms? The freedom to love, the freedom to marry who I want, seems to be subsumed by the idea that I should marry within my own community.
And also, let's look at it this way, Rajdeep.
So conservative India is winning out over sort of
absolutely
the idea of a more liberal society.
No, but it's not about constitutionalism or liberalism. It's about India's constitution and the right to guarantee to those who want to marry interfaith to be allowed to do so.
But that's the point, Rahul. Majority of the people don't want those kind of interfaith marriages. Do you support interfaith marriages? 54% are saying it's against culture. So
it's against your culture, so don't get married.
In our 72nd year of the Republic, we seem to be in a way turning back almost on what our founding fathers thought of.
But even at that time, if the founding fathers had done a poll asking the vast masses that do you want interfaith marriage, the response would have been the same or worse.
But law is supposed to be a step ahead of society.
I am on the 41% who say that yes, it is my personal choice. Should they not, Sanju Verma, have the right? How can the 54% who say it's against their culture decide for the 41% who are okay with interfaith marriages?
You know, Rahul and Rajdeep, there are three very interesting answers. Is love jihad a conspiracy to convert Hindu women? 54% say yes. Do you support interfaith marriages? No, it's against our culture. 54% say that. But the more important question that your survey asked was, should laws be passed to discourage interfaith marriage? Yes, say 58%, and more importantly, 70% are in favor of uniform civil code. So if I take everything, you know, the various questions and answers and just come up with a conclusion that is sensible, what I can derive from the data is that the time has come to ensure that uniform civil code, which was always there,
interfaith marriage has nothing to do with uniform civil code.
Policy should be made into a law.
No, of course, uniform civil code should be broad.
The fact is, let me tell you, Rahul, do you remember? No, let me tell you. There is a Allahabad High Court judgment delivered by Justice Mahesh Chandra. He says that conversion purely for the sake of marriage is illegal. This was in the Noor Jahan Begum, aka Anjali Mishra versus the state of Uttar Pradesh.
Ma'am, I can
you
read.
and Rajdeep one question.
Yes.
We have seen an Akhila becoming Hadia. We have seen a Sonali becoming Sophia.
But in that Hadia, one second. But in that Hadia, one second, Sanju Verma, in that Hadia case that you are quoting, in the Hadia case that you are quoting, the National Investigation Agency did a full probe and they came to the conclusion that that charge wasn't correct.
Hindu women have been taken for a ride.
Yeah, but Hindu women are not silly that they'll get taken for a ride. They have agency of their own. They can make their own decisions.
Ma'am, there are existing laws which can deal with that situation if there was... No, 1 minute now, ma'am. Ma'am, you made your point.
You don't want me to even speak. You talk of liberalism, you don't even want me to answer such a sensitive question.
You have taken over this entire debate.
The other guest hasn't even spoken.
Ma'am, the other guest has not even spoken. We are joined by Tasleem Rahmani of the STPI. Tasleem Rahmani, just a minute, ma'am.
Master of subterfuge.
Okay. You can say what you want to me. I have no problem. My skin is very thick. But 1 minute. No. I will.
The national
Please fade a voice.
champion.
You know, I have to ask you this, Mr. Rahmani. 70% are also saying, should uniform civil code be implemented? 70% are saying yes, no is 20%. So you've got that one backdrop on the one side. Importantly, people are also saying that laws should be passed to discourage interfaith marriage. Do you see that somewhere as a political agenda, which is BJP's political agenda to suggest that interfaith marriages often involve unlawful conversions, is an argument which is being bought by a large number of Indians, many of whom then also go on to say, let's have a uniform civil code.
Rajdeep, I would have appreciated if you have surveyed that how many people are doing this interfaith marriage, and particularly that how many Hindu women are being converted to the Muslim boys as their brides, and how many Muslim women are being converted as the brides of some Hindu man. So this kind of a survey must also be necessary to be conducted. Secondly, in the Hadia case, as rightly Rahul has mentioned, the NIA has not only said in a Hadia case, but in a general perception, the NIA has said there is nothing like the love jihad in Kerala, particularly after the whole investigation. That's why I say whenever any government belonging to the Bharatiya Janata Party claims that there are so many of the love jihad cases, we need a data. And your own survey report says that the general belief of the society is still that traditional belief that they don't want any intercaste marriages.
No, so why do you think so many people today are buying into the argument? Why is it, if the number of cases of interfaith marriages are few, if there are negligible cases of forcible conversion, why is it then that so many people have bought into this narrative? Clearly this propaganda has worked very effectively.
Yes, Rajiv, you have very rightly said the propaganda has got very effectively. And since last 30 years, we are seeing that our society is becoming an aggressive society. And this aggression at various spheres and various areas of our life is affecting our opinions. And these opinions, that's why we are getting so easily polarized on the religious lives. because of such kind of a propaganda without any support of or substantiation.
You know,
of,
but
any
in a
data.
way, does this reflect, Raj, as your cover story says, the reign of Hindutva, a polarization taking place on religious lines, where the space, let's say, for interfaith marriages is shrinking in a way, and that is troubling.
Now, when you mention Hindutva reigns as our cover
Yes.
headline, the reasons why we put it is if you look at all, and not just in this particular case, Love Jihad and Uniform Civil Code, where there's huge endorsement for that particular
Even
thing.
Citizens Amendment Act, there is an
There is-
endorsement.
Correct. And if you look yesterday when we discussed the polls, I mean the
Ram Mandir.
the Ram Mandir as well as Article 370, these were all agendas of the so-called Sangh Parivar, right? The RSS said this is our this thing and this is what we want to do. So therefore you're seeing a clear trend, a clear rightward shift towards this, a decisive shift in the last 5 to 6 years towards that agenda. Now it's debatable across the country whether that is the agenda that we should be following. But I think what we need to be cautious about and is two things. One, the government needs to focus on development at the time when COVID is really hammering us. Health and economic issues must be on top rather than pushing the love jihad issue. The second point is you have to be very careful as we move down the road, because as we have seen in America, when you start getting into issues where you have no control, as it happened with President Trump, where he was able to touch a chord across 47% of the person, even to believe that the elections in the US was fixed, there you have a problem. Then
But it's
you're
already
genuine.
here.
That's
It's
the
already, you know,
problem.
with Love
That's
Jihad in Moradabad, we've had cases where, you know, the Bajrang Dal, the local police authorities are seen to have misused
But
the
they
law.
always have egg on their face
You
in
know,
the end.
no, that's about they misuse the law. So I'm saying you are creating a situation where the government of the day will look at this poll and say, look, there's an endorsement about the public. But laws cannot be based on whether the, you know, the mob out there wants a particular kind of law. It is to be based on your principles of constitutionalism.
No, but there are some questions.
And principles of equality. Why is it that a Muslim woman cannot have the right to marry anyone she wants without having to go to the DM and prove that she is not doing it for conversion?
And Sanju Verma, when you say Hindu women are being taken for a ride,
May I please come in?
Ma'am, listen to my question and then respond. Hindu women have the agency, the ability to think, and the right to determine their personal choice. And if some are uncomfortable with interfaith marriages, so be it. But they must respect the choice of those who'd like to go in for an interfaith marriage.
Let me please answer that. Let me please answer that, Rahul. When I say Hindu women are being taken for a ride, it is not in a derogatory sense, because I believe Hindu civilization is something which is unshakable. At the same time, why do people like you want to deny Hindu women a legal mechanism, a legal framework, legal protection by way of a love jihad law? Why are you against
Because
it?
there are
And I want to
existing
ask
laws.
Rajdeep one question.
Because there are
We have
existing
got
laws.
You have to substantiate your
No,
claim by some
Let me
data.
ask
What is
Rajdeep a
your
question.
subject? You give us a
Let me
particular number
ask
of
you
cases that
something, please.
how many
Please
Hindu
don't be so
women has been taken
intolerant.
their right.
Please don't be so intolerant. You are supposed to be liberal guys. Please don't be intolerant.
Please
You
furnish
have
a
Tasleem
specific
Rahmani on your
data that
panel.
how many
Can
how
I
many of the
please-
Hindu
Can
women
I
have
please-
taken for
okay,
a right?
You
okay,
have Tasleem
Dr.
Rahmani
Rahmani,
on
let
your
her respond.
panel.
Dr. Rahmani, she wants a question. Let her quickly
is
ask the
not fair.
question.
Official
You
agency.
guys keep talking the moment
Please
I
go
start.
ahead. Please
you
go
guys
ahead, ma'am.
keep interfering
Final
the moment
minute.
I talk, but you want to talk about women empowerment. Isn't that funny?
Please do not make this about men and
You
women,
have
but go
got
ahead.
Tasleem Rahmani on your panel.
Yes.
Okay. Let me tell you one thing. You've got Tasleem Rahmani on your panel, right?
Yes.
Now Rajdeep and Rahul, with due respect to you, do you have the guts to call somebody who's the head of Bajrang Dal and introduce him as a liberal? No. You will call Bajrang Dal radical, VHP radical, but you will not call SDPI radical. You
One
will
minute.
not call PFI radical. You will say love jihad is anti-Muslim
So
women.
you
but
are-
you
you are
will not
accepting- so you
show
are
that
accepting
your
that all
service
these
said
organizations,
communal
including
harmony
BJP, is a
has
radical
improved under
organization.
Modi
Are you
government.
accepting that the RSS is a radical
55%
example?
have voted in
One
favor of
second.
Modi
What makes you say we won't
saying
say it if
communal
it's part of our
harmony?
survey? One second,
But
Sanju
you will
Verma,
not show
nice
that.
try,
You
but if
will
it's
not
part
let's
of our
actually-
survey,
let's
how will we
actually-
not say it?
Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute, ma'am. Fade us down. Let's end with what is perhaps the most significant in a, you know, some would say surprising, finding baffling, perhaps for some of us. Communal harmony under Modi government. 55% are saying improved. 22% are saying deteriorated. 18% are saying as before. Let me say that again once more. 55% are saying communal harmony under Modi government has improved. 22% are saying deteriorated. 18% are saying same as before. Now, my first instinctive reaction would be, Raj Chengappa, you got to get a new pollster. That would be my first reaction.
No, but, but why that?
No,
Maybe that's the mood of the people.
No,
I
and
mean, you
also-
don't agree with it, but that's the mood of the people.
No, but
that
let's
would be
look
my
at
reaction, but you're free to...
No, even look, it's difficult to decipher why people have that perception, but they do have a perception, and I think partly, barring the fact that you had Delhi riots that happened in 2020, if you look across the 6-7 years of Mr. Modi's this thing, as compared to the
There's an
previous thing.
institutionalized discrimination against minorities that is
but,
evident.
It is, but I'm saying the fact is that have you had major communal strife across, barring the CAA agitation that happened, which is a very serious agitation, I'm not discounting that. The general perception has been that, look,
There are fewer riots.
there are fewer riots that's happening. There is, so there is a feeling that
Because there are other forms of discrimination taking place, so you
that
don't
other-
need,
No,
you
no,
don't
but
need
Rajdeep,
violence.
why are you putting your opinion on the mood of the
No, no,
nation?
no, 1 minute.
This is the mood of the nation.
This is
That's all it
perceptional.
reflects.
This is a
Sure,
perceptional
but the whole
snapshot.
poll is perceptional.
Sure, but I'm saying there is enough evidence also that you can be given to suggest that this particular finding is hugely questionable.
No, and I would like to, if you look at the Muslim vote, particularly in this survey, they're clearly disillusioned with the Modi government. They don't show the kind of response that the Hindus do. And one very important message this poll says is Mr. Modi has always said Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas. The Vishwas part is not happening when you see the survey that has happened and the way the Muslims have voted on the various questions. I think this is a very important thing that Mr. Modi has to take note. He recently went to the Aligarh Muslim University and talked about inclusive government. I think this is something that not just has to happen in words, but in action also.
Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas.
We'll get into the state of the economy. We'll get into how people perceive the handling of the Chinese aggression and a lot more on the other side of a very quick break. Stay with us. You're watching the India Today Mood of the Nation.